to keep running the engine because your momentum will carry you all the way to the moon pretty much. And then the gravity of the moon will capture you, if you will. So you need the service module engine. If you're facing the moon with that engine will slow you down when you get near the moon. And then you go into an orbit around the moon. You got to go into an orbit around the moon before you can land. Okay? Now once you go around the moon a time or two astronauts go into the lunar lander. They disconnect from the command module, they come down and they land on the moon. And then the two of them come through that meter square hatch right there. They come down the ladder, and then they walk around and pick up rocks, pretty much. That's basically what we did. And they plant the flag. Okay, that's important. And they're still there on the moon, by the way. Okay, so when they're done, after a day or two of picking up rocks and doing experiments and things, then the astronauts go back up into the top part. See the black and silver part on the top? Okay, that's the compartment where the astronauts go with the rocks. The bottom orange part does not come back. That is the descent stage. It stays on the moon. There's another engine underneath the black and silver part, the ascent stage. So that engine fires, they come off the moon, they go all the way back up into orbit, they reconnect with the command module. Two astronauts go in the command module with the rocks. That's important. And then what's left of the lunar lander is disconnected, it falls down, tumbles down, and crashes on the moon. So when you want to leave the moon, if you remember that big piece back there, command and service module, that's what it looks like when you're orbiting the moon and you're ready to come back to Earth. You turn on the service module engine to leave the moon. You got to reach a high enough speed to break free of the moon. Okay, the moon is 250,000 miles away. It's got 1/6 gravity compared to Earth. So the escape velocity of the moon is 1/6 of the escape velocity of Earth. Once you get to that speed, that one little engine will do it. Then you're on your way back to Earth. It'll take 2 to 3 days to get back near the Earth. Then when you get near the Earth, you get rid of the service module, the big round thing. You don't need that anymore. Only the capsule part comes back, the cone-shaped piece, where the astronauts are. So the service module tumbles down, hits the atmosphere of Earth, and it burns up. The capsule turns around. The heat shield, the flat part of the capsule, is facing the Earth, and it's going to go through the atmosphere. We have a heat shield on that part. Why do we need a heat shield? That's right, so it won't get burned up. What happens is, the Earth is rotating at 1,000 miles an hour. You're coming back from space, from the moon, at 22,000 miles an hour. You hit the atmosphere of Earth, you're going 22 times faster than the Earth is rotating. You come into the atmosphere at that speed, you're going to create friction, which means thousands of degrees of Fahrenheit heat, or Celsius. So you've got to protect the astronauts so they don't burn up. The heat shield is ablative, it burns off a little bit as it comes through the atmosphere. It only takes a few minutes, okay, because you're slowing down, it's a blunt front end, and by the time a few minutes, you slow down enough, and then the heat dissipates. And then the capsule doesn't fly, it falls. It falls from the sky. And so when you get low enough and you get through the atmosphere there, the parachutes come out and then they safely and softly land in the Pacific Ocean. We always aim for the Pacific Ocean. When you come back from space, you can't miss it. Okay, it's a big blue thing. So you want to land in the Pacific when you come back from deep space. And then the Navy ships come out and pick them up, and that's how we did it. We landed on the moon 6 times with humans, 1969 to 1972. We actually went to the moon with humans 9 times, but we didn't land 3 of the times. Apollo 8, 10, and 13 did not land, but all the other landings did, 6 landings. So we're getting ready to go back to the moon. We haven't been back to the moon since December 1972, but we are building a new rocket now called the Space Launch System. SLS, new rocket, new capsule named Orion, and it'll seat 4 people. And so that's being built now. It should be here within a year or 2. We're going to test it, make sure it works, and then we're going to start sending humans back to the moon. The 2 launch pads we use for the moon rockets and space shuttles are across the water, right out here. If you go out that way, you'll see them. Big big two things sticking up. And we're going to use those launch pads again. So from the Apollo days and shuttle days and the new rocket, the same launch pads. So we'll use them again. 5 years from now, 2024, we're going to start putting humans back on the moon. Men and women this time. How about that? And then once we figure out how to land on the moon, we're going to send humans onto Mars. That's the big goal. But we got a lot to do, a lot of things to learn and figure out before we can go to Mars. Okay, we're going to finish. You can touch the moon over there. See where it says touch the moon? Those people in that case, you put your hand in there, you can touch a moon rock. Most valuable rocks on Earth. All right, I hope you learned something. Brief tour, hope you learned something, hope it makes your day better. NASA.gov is the website, or you can ask me, I'll be here for a little bit too. Thank you all for being here today. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. Thank you all.